guys, so a while back I mentioned that cons were fantastic, great, they're a safe place for nerds to just get together and have fun. And they are, but they can also be a really unsafe place. And I mainly want to talk about harassment and the harassment women experience, because that's unfortunately what I've experienced and what my friends have experienced. And like, you'll go to a convention and people kind of laugh at this phrase, but it's cosplay's not consent. Just because a woman is in like a bikini or barely anything does not allow you to touch her. And the same goes for men. Like, I'll see men slap other men's asses just because they think it's funny, and the guy is just like, what the fuck, why are you in my personal space? So, and that's how it is for women. It's like, why are you in my personal space? I didn't give you permission to touch me. I've been wolf whistled at. I have been catcalled. I have been I'm trying to just think. I've been followed. And thankfully I met up with a group of friends. And you know, stuff like that. Thankfully nothing too crazy on my end. I've had friends who have been followed, and like, one of them, and like, they would text me or call me because I would be up in the hotel room. I'm like, do you want me to come down? You know, whatever. And I was like, no, just stay texting me, make me, so I look busy and like I'm doing something, because this person's following me. He keeps calling me Poison Ivy. They were an elf from Lord of the Rings, not even remotely Poison Ivy, and he's just really creepy. He's really old, and I'll let you, I'm gonna keep texting you until I get to my destination. I'm like, okay, well, let me know if I need to call you. And thankfully she got to her destination safely. But these are things we shouldn't have to worry about. Back in January, one of the first of the year cons, there was a crazy stalker. I wasn't there, thankfully, but I don't remember the name of the convention. It was a significant size one, but there was this crazy stalker of a cosplayer who committed arson because she wouldn't date him. So all these cars out front of one of the hotels got set on fire because of this crazy fucking asshole couldn't take no for an answer. And was stalking this person. That's not okay. That's not safe. We shouldn't have to. We should be able to walk around a convention in whatever cosplay we choose, however we choose to display ourselves, and feel safe. Just the same as men are. And like I said, men get harassment too. I know that. This is from my experience and what me and my friends have gone through. I don't know anyone who hasn't been at least catcalled. And I mean, in regular life, but at conventions as well. Sometimes it's from congoers, sometimes it's not. When we're in the streets, it's normally not by congoers, which means it's even less safe, because at least in the convention you can like tell security, find their hotel, let the hotel staff know, and get them kicked out of the convention. If it's just some regular person on the street that you don't have any reference to, nothing, and they're just stalking you, and I need some tea to bring life into me. And why we have fun, and thankfully nothing extreme like the arson has happened to myself or any of my friends, it doesn't mean it couldn't. And it's just like, when you're at a convention with friends, you're not always going to be going to the same panels, you're not going to be going to the same parties and this and that. You want to do things on your own, and you should feel safe from walking to your hotel to another hotel, or even just from your room to the convention room downstairs. It shouldn't be an issue. You should feel safe getting on the elevator. You shouldn't feel like you have to give a different hotel that you're staying in a fake name. I don't know how many times I've given out the name Natalie or Natasha, or, you know, something else entirely, and, you know, say I'm at this hotel when I'm at another one, just for my safety. It should be common sense to not ask people this, why that thought even comes into your mind is just like, I need to know where this person's staying. and stuff like that. And it's not like, oh, this person's just asking for your name to be polite. It's never the case. It is so they can find you on their social medias. It's so they can, just try to get in good with you, and then either like start stalking you or harassing you, or in general just not good things that you don't want, especially when you've clearly given this person like no inkling, no anything, or any suggestion that you might even the slightest bit be interested. All you did was enter an elevator and they're like, hey, what's your name? Half drunk. I'm like, I'm not telling you my name. I'm not letting you know where I'm going or what I'm doing. That's none of your business. If I wanted to tell you, I would. Don't keep pressing the matter. And that happens a lot. And yes, that's a form of harassment. And yes, this does happen regularly at conventions. The catcalling happens regularly. Inappropriate touching happens. If they don't allow you in your bubble, you do not get in their bubble. Whenever I take a picture with someone, I always ask if I can be in their personal space. Even if they're asking me to take a picture with them, I was like, are you okay with me in your personal space? Are you okay if I put my hand on your shoulder or on your back? Get consent. It's not that hard. It takes 2 seconds to be like, hey, can I put my hand on your back? They'll be like, yes, no. If it's a no, move your hand. It is not that hard. Why that just seems to baffle people is beyond me. And that goes for men too. Don't just go up to a random man and grab his ass or his junk. Don't do that. If you wouldn't want somebody doing it to you, don't do it to other people. It is that simple. If you don't want to be yelled at and made to feel unsafe and that you have to grab your mace or your knife or whatever self-protection you have on you, why? I don't understand. Like, you wouldn't want to do that. You wouldn't want to go through that, so why make somebody else go through that? And unfortunately, this kind of does tend to drive women away from conventions, and which sucks because there's so many great cosplayers that are women's there. So many great writers that are women's. There's so many great writers and artists that are women, but even like vendors don't want to come to conventions or panelists because of harassment, because it can get that bad. And it's absolutely ridiculous. And cons, especially like Dragon Con, even as large as it is, it's still pretty good about, at least again in my experience, I don't know what other people have gone through or whatnot, but security's pretty good. There's security at every entrance, so if somebody is following you, somebody is being inappropriate, you can go up to security and be like, hey, this person's not great, and they will take care of it. And again, in my experience, they've been really good about that. And they're pretty good about keeping an eye out and just being like, you know what, I'm going to go move this person. Was it last year or the year before? I don't know. There was one year, there was a guy being absolutely obnoxious. Not just inappropriate towards women, but to everyone in general. Completely shit-faced. And I want to say they dragged him out. I'm not entirely sure. Again, I'm like most Dragon Cons and Dragon Con goers, I'm gone by 10 p.m. in the Marriott, but I vaguely remember something like that happening. So they're pretty good. I know NYCC had a big poster thing. New York Comic Con had a big poster about like saying cosplay is not consent, because it's not. Harassment won't be tolerated. Thankfully, my first New York Comic Con, I was dressed as Black Widow, which is a skin tight suit, but I was with my friends, and also Black Widow, you're not gonna get you're gonna get looks for sure, but less likely to come up to you because you look like you can kick somebody's ass, and in my case I can, and I will if I have to. You're like, oh, you're small, you can do that. I have a black belt in Taekwondo. Yes, I can. So don't fight me. I am still a small being. But if I have to protect myself, I can. And so that wasn't too much of an issue. Last year I was dressed as male characters. So Prompto and Eraserhead, so I didn't have to worry about it too much. But at Dragon Con, when I was dressed as Sydney, walking out of the hotel lobby, I got wolf whistled. Just like, I mean, I know I look great, but that's so disrespectful. And it drives me insane. Catcalling is just, stop. It's not gonna get me to sleep with you. It's just not. It's, so, yeah. Catcalling, harassment, don't do it. It's not appealing. It will not make us attracted to you. We don't think it's cute, smart, clever, funny, or any of that. We think it's disgusting and want you to leave us alone. But, yeah, NYCC, didn't have any issues there, but, I mean, they have a full, like, security detail in and out of the building you have to go through, so I'm sure if anything were to happen, you could get somebody's attention if you needed to. And then the small cons I've been to are small, like one room, so if something happens, everybody's gonna see it. And you just scream loud enough. I need chapstick. Also, it's giving me a chance to take a breath because I'm ranting, so I'm not talking. But, yeah, that's kind of the seedy underbelly of conventions. Yes, they're fun, they're great, they're fantastic, and I love them. And I don't ever want to feel like I can't go because of, you know, creepy perverts who don't know how to keep their hands to themselves or keep their thoughts to themselves. And I saw a post on Twitter last month after the fire at that one convention, the arson at that one convention. It was like, shit like this makes me not want to go to conventions anymore. And I hate that. And I was like, I was tempted to cancel all my plans too, because it not only was that one person a target, there were innocent bystanders a part of that too. Like, it was a significant amount of cars that were burnt and like inside and out, like no recovery from them. And a lot of people didn't have insurance or just had like liability, so they were out of a car and didn't have any money to get a new one. And it's just like, this person isn't taking account, and they're so self-minded and just obsessed that they don't realize how much they're hurting this person they claim to care about, or those around them, and even themselves. So it's just, don't do it. Leave women alone. Like, if you want to say hi and compliment our costumes, do that. But be like, hello, I love your costume, or I love your cosplay, or I love your character, or whatever. And they'll be like, oh, thank you so much. Like, thank you so much. That's all it takes. Wolf whistling, catcalling, touching, grabbing, all of that, it is not a compliment. We will not take it as a compliment. So don't do it. Alright, yeah. So, like I said, seedy underbelly of conventions that's pushing a lot of women away, unfortunately, because we don't want to deal with that. We want to feel safe when we enjoy our nerdy things, and if we don't feel like we can, then we're not going to do it. So that sucks. Do you want to talk about your experiences with that? And men, if you've had an experience, please talk about it, because it needs to stop completely. Harassment just doesn't need to happen, especially at a place where we consider ourselves safe from like bullies. Harassment's just another form of bullying. And so I'd love to hear it. If you have any tips or tricks on how you might be able to stop it, be great, a great discussion to be had. And boop that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys. I love you. Bye.